again, welcome back to the Beautyliscious Lash Academy YouTube channel. We are going to be talking about something that is very controversial, but we're going to be giving you guys our golden 6 rules, I guess you can say, the 6 most important things on how to get almost guarantee 3 to 4 week retention with pretty much all of your clients. It's not a 100%. Obviously, there's a lot of factors when it comes to lash retention. If you're new to lashing, lash retention means how long the extensions last on your clients. So if this is your first time here, my name's Ashley.
I'm Hakim.
This is the Lash Papi. If you're not following him on TikTok, you need to be. We own a lash training academy and lash supply store for professional lash artists in Southern California. We teach online and in-person courses, and we sell basically everything under the sun for lash artists. So if you guys are interested in trying our products, we are going to be talking about some. We're not trying to push our products on you, but we're educating you on how we get. Hakim does mostly only classic now.
Only classic, yeah. It's about 3 week retention for me.
And he has several clients, though he's being modest, that come on
like 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Like 2 or 3 clients who come at least still to this day that come on a 4 week. Even when you first started, you had clients who were coming once a month too. I mean, ever since the beginning, even your first few models were coming like, because you weren't pushing them to pre-book, they were coming at the 1 week mark and they still had a lot of lashes. So it's not chance, it's not, oh, people who've been lashing longer. It all has to do with understanding how the process works. This is something that we go in detail in our courses. We take a lot of time to help you understand the way the adhesive works, the way lashes work, the lash cycle, and all of the things to do with like hormones and chemicals and things like that. But obviously we can't give all of that for free in the YouTube channel, but we do want to help you guys because it's not fair that sometimes, you know, you're taking classes that don't even go over it at all. So yeah, we wanted to give you some of our tips because the truth is clients do not have to all be coming on 2 week basis. I see a lot of lash techs talking about, I don't do 3 week fills. At the 3 week fill, all of them are grown out, and kind of like almost setting this standard for clients that makes them feel guilty if they have not great retention at the 3 week mark. We've never had that problem, and full transparency, we don't even use all of the steps here. We're gonna go over some ways to really get you really good retention, but we don't even use all the steps here, so just keep that in mind. We are big on minimalism when it comes to our lash process. We try to do less is more, if you will.
Stick to the basics.
Yeah, that's how we are. We try to be as minimal, and we have our reasons. Again, we go over that more in our courses, but we're gonna go ahead and try and make this a quick video. Our last video was pretty long.
Yeah, for sure.
So there are 6 main things that you have to keep in mind when we're talking about retention, how to get the best possible retention for your clients. Because if you know anything about lashes and owning a lash business, lash retention equals client retention. If your lashes are not lasting, if they're coming back at the 2 week mark and they have 20% or less lashes left, if you're having to send them away because they don't have enough lashes and you're telling them, hey, it's a full set and they can't afford it, you do that enough and you are gonna lose people. You're gonna get a bad reputation. They're gonna go somewhere else. They're gonna get really good retention, and they're gonna know, hey, see, it wasn't me, it was her. And they're gonna tell people that. So you should be actively looking to increase the retention for your clients. Okay, so we're gonna go over them really quickly. I'm just gonna list them. Environment, cleanliness, adhesive, application, curing, and aftercare. Those are the 6 main ones, and we're gonna briefly explain why each one is so important and what are some tips and tricks for each one. The first one is your environment. And by environment, I mean
the temperature and the humidity levels
of your working area. So something like this is called a hydrometer. A hygrometer, as you can see, there's a time on there, and that's not the right time, but you're gonna see there are some numbers on here. The number right here is the temperature, and then over here is the humidity. As you can see, the levels are very low right now. Hold on. There you go. That was Celsius before. It's Fahrenheit now. So Fahrenheit, it is 82 degrees in here, but humidity levels are 28
Yeah, it's really dry right now.
That's very dry. My lips are dry. My skin is dry. Everything's dry. But yet I'm sweaty because it's hot. So that poses a bit of an issue because adhesive works better in a room temperature situation, meaning not too hot and not too cold. And that's any adhesive. As far it likes a cooler temperature, not hot. Not cold, but cooler. But what affects the adhesive even more is your humidity levels. So knowing that it likes a cooler-ish temperature and that your adhesive is attracted to moisture, there's an ingredient that's in the adhesive called cyanoacrylate, and that is a chemical that's attracted to moisture. And there's moisture molecules in the air. They're called hydrogen molecules. This gets a little bit sciencey. We're not gonna spend too much time on that. But the basis is the more humidity that's in the room, the quicker the adhesive cures. It needs the hydration to cure. I have spent a lot of time on YouTube videos and learning about glues, and not a lot of people talk about this. I think people kind of gatekeep it a little bit because they want to keep all the good retention for themselves, but we're here to tell you that humidity is a good thing to a certain extent.
Yeah, just know how to work with it.
Exactly. So if it's too low, your adhesive is going to take a really long time to cure, and that's why it's going to slip and fall, and you're going to be brushing through the lashes and they're going to be popping off. And that's why when your client is done, their lashes look great, but then fast forward the next day, they're like, hey, my eyes are really red and itchy. Probably because the adhesive wasn't cured. So it was curing and it was irritating their eyes over the next day or so. So that's a really big one. Understanding your humidity levels. If you need to purchase one of these, oh wow, well, if you need to purchase, there's a little stand on the back so it can stand up. There's also a magnet, you can put it on your wall. But I would definitely look into getting one of these. We sell these on our website, where you can also buy them on Amazon. They're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people use them for like animals and stuff. But definitely understanding your environment is huge, because that's gonna play a big role into which adhesive you use. Remember I said different adhesives work better. Our Como La Flor adhesive, it works really well in low humidity. It works in normal humidity as well. Not too great in very high humidities. It prefers about a 40 to 20% humidity. And then the next one is, Hakim, I'll let you take this one over.
It's cleanliness. How clean are you keeping the lashes, or what are you doing when they get there? So what I always like to do is I always like to start with the lash bath no matter what. I mean, we're not talking about like scrubbing the flowers, but it's kind of like a gentle lash bath, just to make sure that they don't have no makeup or just anything on there, you know. Even
though we tell them to clean them before.
Yeah, even though we tell them to clean them before, but it's better to do it yourself than to just hopefully they did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at least
they're gonna tell you they did. How many times did you tell your parents you did your homework, but you were like, I'll do it in the morning when they're asleep, or it's not so much that I feel like a lot of lash artists start to shame their clients and say, oh, you're dirty, you don't care, you're lazy. But the truth is, their life does not revolve around lashes, and it doesn't revolve around us. This is our job. We're the professionals.
Yeah, for sure. So just that would be step one for sure. Always make sure you wash your lashes beforehand.
And what do you use to wash them?
We use our botanical lash bath. This is a 5-ounce bottle, so it's pretty cool to have. We also have 1-ounce bottles, but you could always make it smaller yourself and give them away to your clients.
Oh yeah, I have the cleanser concentrate. Tell them about it.
Yeah, so that way, because you're gonna, like I said, cleanliness is a big part. So you not only do you want to be on top of it, you also during your appointment time you want to be teaching your client about it. Because at the end of the day,
Prolong cleanser. This is the one that we recommend if you're going to be trying to make your own cleansers. You can find little bottles like this on Amazon for pretty inexpensive, and then you can fill it with distilled water, and you can get yourself probably about 30 to 40 bottles with one of these, I think. So that's pretty good. And we sell these on our website.
Yeah. Wait, that's a big thing though, making sure that your clients, educating your clients on how to take care of their lashes and how to properly wash them and everything.
Because when you're educating them during the appointment, because we're going to talk about aftercare later, but when you're educating your client during the appointment, not only are you obviously cleaning the lashes, which is going to create a clean surface to bond with the extension, but on top of that, I feel like you're reiterating how important it is. Like, if your parents were telling you, hey, you need to brush your teeth every day, but they didn't brush their teeth every day, how much would you listen to them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
There's that sound on TikTok that says, I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, it's like, you have to lead by example. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay.
And then the next one is
adhesive.
yes, glue. There's this saying on Instagram that says, it's not the glue, it's you. And you guys, like, I can't stress that enough. Adhesive, understanding the way your adhesive works. I know we touched on it earlier in reference to the temperature and moisture levels in your room, but you also have to understand the timing. If it's too quick for you, you're not gonna get good retention. Because if it's I use a half of a second dry time, but I'm very fast. I've done full sets in an hour. So if you cannot do a full set in an hour, don't think that, and you want to get faster. I see a lot of people who want to get faster, so they buy a faster glue thinking, well, if it's a faster glue, then I'll be done in a faster amount of time. Maybe, but you're not going to get a good bond, because by the time you get the lash, to the extension to the natural lash, it's already partially or completely cured. So you're going to be wasting time. So that's a big one. But if it's too slow, then you're going to get them stuck to other lashes. You're going to cause damage. So making sure you're using a glue that's good for your environment, plus the time that it takes you to lash. That's really important. And then this one you can definitely talk a little bit about. The next one is application.
Application. So so you're gonna want to get like the most surface area, no matter what style lashes you're doing. Mm-hmm. So for us, so we have flat lashes. That's the only thing I use. So flat lashes, if you know, they kind of have like a curve to them, so you're able to get more surface area when you place them correctly. When
you use traditional plastic lashes, it's like a round lash, natural lash. Your natural lashes are rounded, you know, it's a cone. And then you have traditionally classic lashes with another round, but a thicker round. So it was very minimal contact area. Don't get me wrong, you can get contact area this way, but as far as this way, it wasn't a lot. So flat lashes came around, and it has like this curvature to it, so it kind of wraps around. So that's one of the ways that you can get a lot more contact area.
And then with volume, I'll let Ashley handle that since she's
with volume, the way you're going to get more contact area is by wrapping the extensions around the natural lash. There's a few ways that can be done. If you want to learn more in detail about how to get the wrap, I would definitely suggest taking our volume virtual class. We go in detail about that, and all of our classes, our online classes, come with the kit that's included. So it's going to be the glue, the adhesive, the tweezers, the lashes, everything that you need to achieve these results, you're going to get it included. So I'll definitely check that out. But that's the basis of how that works.
Then what we got?
And then making sure that you're isolating properly when it comes to application. Because if you're not okay, and now let's just be honest here when it comes to stickies. You have to understand that when they brush through their lashes or they're cleaning their lashes, if they feel something itchy or whatever, they're gonna scratch and they're gonna push through. If you get stickies together, they're gonna itch, they're gonna bother people because it's gonna be tugging on the skin and tugging on other lashes that aren't ready to fall out. And then they're gonna pop them off, and you're actually gonna be pulling off natural lashes that were not ready. So that's just bad. But in reference to retention, there are a lot of people who claim that they have 6-week, 8-week retention. A lot of times, now this is not a blanket statement, but a lot of times the reason why they have people coming back 6 weeks later with a ton of lashes
it's because they were all stuck together in the first place. So if you're getting great retention from having a bunch of lashes stuck together, that's not really
something to brag about.
Yeah, something to brag about. Yeah, you shouldn't be.
3 to 4 week retention is pretty good and pretty healthy because of the way the growth cycle is. By the time the lash is in its teenage at the teenage point of its life cycle, it's already been coming out of the follicle for about half of its life cycle. So the life cycle is about 2 months, sometimes 3. It depends on the person. But you have to understand that when we're talking life cycle, we don't mean from being outside of the hair follicle. We mean all the way from the inside of the papilla. So that takes weeks before it even shows surface and the baby hair is outside of your skin. So even though, yes, it can have a 2 month to 3 month life cycle, we only see that hair maybe for a month or 2. So that's why I say you can get 4 to 5 week retention. That's pretty good. Someone who's telling you as a client or someone who's a trainer telling you, oh, they have to come every 2 weeks. I see a lot of people say things like, at the 3 week point, most of the lashes have already grown out and I need to remove all of them. That is possible. It's very possible
if you
that
have really healthy lashes and they're just growing.
Especially if you eat like a really healthy diet,
yeah, for sure.
You work out a lot, and you're using a lot of serums and taking a lot of vitamins. It's possible that you have to get 2 week fills, or else it's a full set. But to be completely honest, in my opinion, both professional and personal, I think it's a cop out.
Okay, so the next thing that you have to know about getting better retention would be the curing.
Yeah, curing the adhesive at the end is going to be really important. Like I mentioned earlier, the adhesive does naturally cure. The process, it's a chemical process that's called polymerizing. So what happens is the chemicals that are inside of the adhesive, the cyanoacrylate, is going to react with the moisture that's in the air, and it's going to turn into a polymer. It's basically a plastic. It's the easiest way thing I can compare it to. So it's like a plastic, a plastic that is bonding these two, the fake lash and your natural lash together. So what you're gonna want that moisture in the air, right? So if it's too dry and you need to adjust your room, you could definitely take measures to do that. You can invest in a humidifier. Maybe it's too humid in your room. Maybe it's really hot and humid in your room. So maybe you want to invest in some type of air conditioner or get a lot of airflow going in there. There's a lot of different ways that you can adjust. But at the very end, there's three main ways that you can cure, honestly. You can either cleanse the lashes at the end. With our adhesives, you can cleanse them immediately. Back in the old dark ages.
Yeah, I used to say that you shouldn't wash them like for a day, but...
We do, honestly, when I still do clients, I still usually recommend that they try not to kind of touch them or mess with them too much for the first day. But that's more of just a precaution because I don't want them to get used to rubbing them a lot. If I tell them that, hey, for 48 hours, don't touch them besides cleansing,
they're gonna be more cautious.
They're gonna be more careful. It's more of like a psychology thing. It's not because you can't get them wet. You totally can immediately. So if you have really sensitive clients too, that's one of the things. Also, I forgot to mention, this adhesive is actually a medical grade adhesive. The grade of cyanoacrylate that is in our Como La Flor adhesive is a much higher grade than what is on the market. So it's going to be very good for sensitive clients. That was just a disclaimer there. But also what you can do for sensitive clients to cure the adhesive is you can, we forgot to talk about, when we talked about cleansing, we forgot to mention primers. Now, again, full transparency.
Yeah, I don't use primer. I've never used primer. I actually used it
for like oilier clients.
Handful of times.
So you won't really see us pushing primers too much unless somebody has really oily lashes, oily skin. Then occasionally I'll use one. If they came straight from the gym or the sauna and they're really greasy, I might use a primer. Make sure it's a hydrating primer. That's really important. You don't want to use a primer that has too much alcohol content because it's going to strip not only the oils away, but it's also going to strip away any moisture or hydration. But you want to use a hydrating primer. That's the main thing because it's going to help. The cool thing about our primer is it actually helps work with our cleanser to be able to bring back your natural lash to the pH balance of what it's supposed to be. If you use a primer that's too alcohol based, it's gonna really mess up your pH balance, and that's how clients will get very red eyes. So our primer works really well with our lash cleanser. However, I would not recommend using this on every single client. I would say more for clients with more oily skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But at the end of the service, to completely cure the adhesive, there's a few ways. You can do a lash bath and you'll be totally fine. I dare you to try it. I have a few customers who do this and they love it because it totally gets rid of any red eyes. Or you can use a bonder. A bonder is an agent, it's a sealant basically, that mixes in with the adhesive at the very end, and it basically it cures the adhesive all the way through immediately, but it also helps to make the adhesive, remember how I said it polymerizes and turns into like plastic? It turns into more of a flexible plastic. So it's gonna give you more leeway when they rub, when they cleanse their lashes, if they accidentally sleep on their face, it's gonna make it more flexible. And then the other thing, which is, this is what you mostly do, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I use right there. I usually just mist after I'm done with my lash appointment, so that way I can make sure that they cure properly, I guess, you know, so that way I'm not worried about the red eyes that you mentioned, because when it's still, when it's like dry out and the adhesive hasn't cured all the way and they open their eyes prematurely, that's when you'll tend to get the red eyes. So,
especially over like the next few hours or whatever, that really helps because the adhesive cures, so do the fumes that are in the air. So we'll definitely use that from time to time. But those are kind of the three options that you have to cure it completely. Now, mind you, for a very long time, I didn't do any of those things. I would literally just wait for a few minutes. I would wait for like 10 minutes before they open their eyes. And I had the retention that way too. But these three are definitely going to be your best friends when it comes to really dry environments and combating that. And then the last one, Hakim was kind of touching on it earlier, but the last one
is aftercare. Making sure your clients know proper aftercare, because it's a team effort. It's not just on you. You could be great at doing your job, but if they're not great at taking care of them, or vice versa, they could be great at taking care of them, but you're not. You know what I mean?
But more than likely, they're not sitting on YouTube looking up how to get good lash retention. They expect you, as the professional, that they're paying $200 or whatever to inform them. When you go to the doctor and you get some surgery done, maybe you go and Google what can I eat afterwards and what can I not, but more than likely you expect your doctor to let you know, right? It's the same concept. My doctor gives me a full after visit appointment that has all the do's and don'ts and tips and tricks and when to come back again.
Or even beforehand, like beforehand, they tell you what to do before. So that's one thing that I would do too before.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
I would always tell them, like, if
you have like a little text.
Yeah, I would text them, like, if you could, please come. Take a shower before you come. Just
so you don't stink.
Not so you don't stink, but just like you said, so that way you can tell them, like, oh, for the next 24 to 40 hours, don't touch them, because if they come from the gym, like she said, if they come from the gym, they're gonna want to go home and take a shower.
And then they're gonna rub their face. Exactly. That's the main part.
That's the main part of it. So
it's not about the water.
Yeah. So my thing is, I would tell them take a shower, and then I would tell them if they could refrain from drinking coffee too, because obviously it's gonna make your job easier if they're not drinking coffee, because they get jittery when they have a lot of caffeine in them. And obviously, and then
use the restroom.
And use the restroom.
He would tell them all that stuff beforehand.
So that way I don't have to feel like I'm rude. So that way I text it to you beforehand.
And if they do any of that stuff, it's gonna be a very easy conversation to be like, hey, remember I mentioned that.
Yeah, and at one I would say no makeup, just come makeup free. So that way.
Even though you're gonna clean it.
Exactly, yeah. So that way, like I say, it's a team effort. So if they can help you even get it done a little faster and a little better, like.
Yeah, that's gonna be ideal. So not only do you educate them, first of all, you should be, if you have social media, you should be posting about these things online on your social media in a gentle, friendly way. But then you're also gonna tell them beforehand in a one-to-one conversation. He would text them. And then you're gonna have that conversation when they're there. We have consultation forms that they would fill out that reiterated all this information too. So they'd have to read it, sign it, agree to the terms. And then during the appointment, we were educating them about it. And then after the appointment,
we talk about it. We talk about it a lot on both of our like social medias and stuff. I think being a clean with your lashes cleansing, that's one of our biggest things.
Yeah, it's just safety, sanitation, and customer service are big. Retention, natural lashes. That's what we're all about when it comes to our brand, and when we owned our salon, those were our main priorities. So we stress that a lot, and trust me, it works really well to set you up as someone who's an authority, someone who's respected in the industry. Being someone who cares deeply about client experience, client retention, and all that stuff is really going to show that you care. So by educating them on this in a way that you're not shaming them or making fun of them, if you educate them in a way that's very just encouraging and positive, you're going to be seen as someone that they trust, that they like, and that they respect. So just keep that in mind. If you're just blaming them and not really educating them, do you like when you do something wrong and then people make fun of you but no one ever told you it was wrong? Like, no, these people did not take a lash course. Yeah, they're not sitting there for hours looking at YouTube videos to learn about lashes. They just want to feel pretty. So if you what do they say? Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You explain that to them. That's why we recommend the aftercare kit.
Yeah, so that would be one thing for sure that I would highly recommend, that if you could either make your own or buy some, find a lash pad that you like, and then make it some sample size and give it to your customers with their
yeah, you can even put it in tiny little bottles for free
with their first full set, so that way they
if you buy the kits from us, we sell them in bulk for a discount. So even lash brushes, how cute are these little lash brushes that are, like, give them a gift, like maybe for Valentine's Day or something. Maybe you already have clients and they're not getting good retention, then give them a free cleansing brush and a free sample size of your cleanser so that they feel special, and then they're gonna use it, right? So constantly reminding them. One of the things that I used to do was kind of text them a few days later, do like a follow-up kind of text message and be like, hey, just want to catch up and make sure you're washing your lashes. Or I'd send them a picture of me washing my lashes and be like, hey, washing my lashes, are you washing yours? Like on Snapchat or on Instagram, Snapchat.